Hey guys, we're in the brand new LX, which is basically Lexus's version of the Land Cruiser. I'm here with Alex from Alex on Autos. Alex, we're going to have an argument.
We are, because this is Land Cruiser perfected.
No, you're wrong, Alex. Why would you buy the LX when you can buy the original? Why would you buy a copy when you could buy the original Land Cruiser? I just don't get this car.
It's not a copy.
It's a truck,
the
actually.
luxury Land Cruiser. It's not a copy. Same company. A copy would be if, Tata built this.
So, forever now, almost forever, people have been overlanding in one vehicle. It is the pinnacle. It is the standard of overlanding. And it is the Land Cruiser. And when Lexus decided to copy the Land Cruiser
1995. They needed an SUV, yep.
and built this car, I didn't get it back then, and I don't get it today. This vehicle makes absolutely no sense to me.
I disagree. It's only a hair more expensive than the Land Cruiser, but it's so much nicer. We get the adjustable height suspension, better leather, longer warranty, bigger screen in the dash, snazzier wheels. Nobody takes these things off-road anyway.
So yeah, let's talk about that one at a time, all right? First of all, the hydraulic suspension, right, will fail.
It's a Lexus, it will never fail.
It will fail. 10 years from now, it's gonna fail.
I would take this before I took an air suspension in a Range Rover, though.
The enormous grille and
The Predator.
yeah, I'm calling it a box with a bow tie, is just silly looking, whereas the Land Cruiser has this beautiful kind of sculpted hood, right? It's got that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
This looks like a giant box going down the road.
It looks hungry. It looks aggressive. This is going to attack your BMW.
And the only time you actually
If it could catch up to the BMW, which it probably won't.
It
but,
won't.
Hey.
And the only time you actually approach the same approach angles with this vehicle that you get in the Land Cruiser is when you jack this hydraulic suspension all the way to its tippy toes, which makes it undrivable off-road. So if you want,
but then you get better breakover and departure angles than the Land Cruiser.
yeah, which is
Better.
better. And let's talk about capability, right? How much does this tow?
Tows a little bit less than the Land Cruiser.
A little bit less.
But that's because we have more inside the car. We have the variable height suspension, etc., which adds extra weight.
It tows over 1,000 pounds less.
Just over. I wouldn't tow that much weight with this anyway because the wheelbase is so short.
And let's talk about depreciation.
A little bit higher on the Lexus.
A little bit higher on the Lexus.
But you get better deals on the Lexus on the dealer lot than the Land Cruiser, so this may actually be less expensive than the Toyota.
What is mind-boggling is that this outsells the Land Cruiser like 3 to 1.
By 2 to 1. Yeah, almost 3 to 1.
Yeah. But if you're gonna roll up in a Land Cruiser, your neighbors are like, dude, that is a badass truck. If you roll up in this thing, people are like, what the hell is it? Is it an LX? Is it a GX? There's no like distinguishing difference.
I disagree, because if you roll up to the country club in this, they're like, ooh, you got a Lexus. And if you roll up in the Toyota Land Cruiser, they're going to be like, A, what's wrong with your trust fund? And B, did you get like a bigger RAV4 or a 4Runner? What is that thing?
No, if you roll up to a country
It's a fat
club
4Runner.
in this, they'll be like, dude, you're old. And if you roll up in if you roll up in the Land Cruiser, like, hey, that is badass.
But old and into outdoor sports.
So we've talked about style, we've talked about kind of
And real
capability.
wood.
Yeah. But what we haven't talked about, of course, is the powertrain, and that's interesting because this is identical. There's no difference, right? You get the same 5.7, you get the same 8-speed transmission.
Only difference is this one's tuned to premium, so it gets like 3 or 4 more horsepower.
Which is actually worse, right? Because if you're going down to Mexico, you're not going to be able to get, you're going to get like gas with sticks in it.
Well, it will operate safely and effectively on regular.
Yeah, with sticks in it.
With sticks in it, yeah. Same engine, so you have to, right? So the fuel tank's the same, the fuel filters are the same, all that kind of stuff's the same. So it's so similar.
So what Alex is saying is that parts availability is the same, and I disagree. I think anywhere in the world you can take your Land Cruiser and you can actually get it fixed and repaired. You take this down to Mexico, they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, gringo, what the heck is that? And then you're going to try to convince them it's basically a Land Cruiser underneath.
Yeah, but you'll still be able to find the parts. That's for the drivetrain components. You won't be able to find a bumper.
Yeah,
if you pull off a bumper, you know, you're just toast. And
yeah, rear fascia, front fascia.
If you want those, if that's necessary for your return, that's gonna be a problem. But actual substantive components, they're exactly the same. In fact, I had this argument with someone, one of our Facebook readers, who was saying, no, the coolers are different. And I'm like, nope, they're the same. In fact, Lexus and Toyota even use the same part numbers on everything. You know, radiators, coolers, etc., all identical.
So, you know, what they don't use that's identical is, of course, the brand identity, right? Because the Toyota says that you're a normal, everyday kind of person. This says that you're
better.
Rich, douchey, right?
Better.
Yeah, you're better, yeah. And so the question, Alex, is do you want to be better or do you want to be normal?
Everyone always wants to be better.
I want to be
right?
every man. I'm serious. You know, I don't want the gangsters knowing that I've got a big wallet full of cash. I want them thinking that I'm just some guy. Well, and actually that's not even that true because I'm now arguing against myself, but at $85,000, which is, you know, what both of these cost.
They're both, yeah.
They're both pretty freaking expensive. Weren't you just telling me this is the third most expensive vehicle that Toyota sells in the U.S.?
Yeah, depending on how you look at the Land Cruiser and LX, these are the second and third most expensive things that Lexus, or that Toyota as a whole company sells in the U.S.
So what's number one and two?
LC. Well, LC and then either the LX or the Land Cruiser, depending on how you look at it. Because this is available as a 2-row that's less than the Land Cruiser, or as the 3-row that's more.
So here's what my bottom line on this is, right? When we had the Toyota Land Cruiser at the office, I got into it and I was like, I get this. I understand why people lust after this vehicle. I understand why this is such a cool vehicle. When I get in this, I'm like, I don't get it, dude. It's just...
But you're a cool guy. So when I got into the Land Cruiser, I was like, I don't get it. Why would you not just buy the Lexus?
Well, there you have it, guys. Another episode of No, You're Wrong. I guess it depends on the kind of person you are. Are you an everyday kind of guy, or are you a better kind of guy?
Better person, yes.
Thanks for watching, and check out TFLtruckandcar.com for more news, views, and of course, Tom, you back there?
Hi.
Real world reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.
Hang on, don't cut the camera yet. Alex, which is a better infotainment system?
Oh, that's a toss-up because you know
crap.
they're both pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is really, really bad as far as luxury cars go. And the other one's just the same software with the touchscreen, but the screen's smaller.
Yeah, you know, this is like the Atari of entertainment systems, right?
Yeah.
It should have been left back in the late 90s.
Yeah. Now I will give Lexus one thing: the joystick is better than the touchpad.
Yeah,
but that's not saying much. That's like saying I'd rather get stabbed than shot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. They're both pretty antiquated. How about ride and handling? What do you
This
think?
one's a little bit softer than the Land Cruiser, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
And it is adaptive, so you can go into comfy mode or eco mode.
I feel ecological, and now I feel comfortable.
Do you feel comforted?
I can't tell the difference. I really can't. They both suck gas at prodigious rates, right? I think this is a 15 mpg combined. Yeah.
If it's lucky.
Yeah,
The Navigator is positively enormous compared to this, and it gets way better gas mileage.
Yeah, this 5.7 is dead reliable and crazy thirsty.
And the Navigator's faster too.
Very much so. Cool.